Meow! Hoople's cat. Hope everybody's having a great day today. I'm getting ready to go to work for the weekend on nights as usual, and I thought I'd share something. What I'm going to share is me loading my buckets, which I do every few months. 5 of them to load today. 5 gallon, because even in Canada we still have some American measurements. So stay tuned and see what I'm up to. So stay tuned and see what I'm up to. Now I could of course just gone to the dollar store or Walmart and spent about $20–30 and brought a bunch of tacky junk home and showed you it, because those videos are really popular because people can't walk into the dollar store or Walmart and buy $30 worth of random junk and claim they're prepping. Prepping is a lifestyle. So what I want to do is I want to pack my buckets up and they go to my bug out location, and then if I have to bug out, a large amount of bulk stores are already there, because I don't think carrying stuff or planning to drive it to a bug out location in a condition of SHTF makes any sense. Other people disagree. So why do you want to watch this bucket video? Because it'll show my philosophy as well. It's not just your typical bucket video. It has differences in it, which I hope you picked up from the photographs at the beginning. Into each bucket load I select a cultural icon, a book. In this particular case I'm putting in a short history of time. This is actually the history of how humanity figured out how to keep accurate records of time. Interesting book and a really good read, but something that 200–300 years from now, if my buckets aren't used by me and are still there and somebody or something digs them up, might be helpful. Again, the binding is strong and the paper is expensive, so it's not going to degrade as long as it stays dry, and it will go into a mylar and it should be fine. And they actually have the old-fashioned slipcase covers, which is a very useful thing for books. Now if you watch my bucket videos before, you know I often put in syrup or jams into the oatmeal containers, and I'm not actually doing that today because I've got quite a bit of jam stored up already and I don't need to. But what am I adding into my buckets to fill up those gaps in my buckets that you might want to think about? On off the toothpaste. 10 years from now this will work. It won't be great, but it'll work. Add-on theme for this bucketing is tea bags. So I have my tea bags ready to go into mylar. Tea bags are a useful thing. I also have over time collected powdered teas from various places, from workplace gift baskets, and I've just grabbed my selection, which would be the tea bags. So I'm putting in tea bags, actual tea bags to put things in. These are phenomenally useful in any camping or grid down situation, because you can put your pine needles in here or your mint in here or whatever it is that you want to put some flavouring in, water, and then pour the hot water on top of it. Useful thing to have. Obviously single use. You notice I'm not putting any white rice in today. That's because I've already got a lot stored up and I'll store it more in the future. I like to mix up the buckets. I think if you're buying the same thing over and over and storing it up, you have a bad diet. A couple of bags of this. This is a phenomenally useful vegan product. If you add a little bit of water to it and grind it up by hand, it dissolves quite easily and it makes a very tasty cheese supplement. It's also fairly full of B vitamins. A good thing to have. Now all of these dry goods have been in my freezer for about 2 months and they need to be in the freezer for about 48 hours or so to kill off any of the eggs, or you'll get weevils in any product. And as far as I can, what I also do with these products is I mylar bag them to protect them inside their original sealed bags. Most industrial products these days actually replace the air in bags with carbon dioxide or nitrogen, thus removing any oxygen. So it's actually better to leave them in the bag and then mylar protect the bag, to keep the bag, if it's intact, which these are. I got this from a pocket box. I'm hoping I'll never have to use it, and I'm basically keeping it as a barter item or a desperate item. This is of course not vegan, and it is also in a sealed bag, so, and it's small, and I was thinking about giving it to various people, but I'm going to keep this and put it in. Because it has substantial amounts of dairy, I don't expect this to last. What I might be able to do with this in a grit down situation is actually open it up, add a bit of water, roll it up and try and use it as a kind of bait. Gone off peanut butter, gone off dairy products like this, might have a role in attracting wildlife to eat. Now I don't have any white rice in this particular bucketing, but I have couscous. If you haven't used couscous, I suggest you go and buy some, go online, get some recipes, try it out. It's different and it's not what you might think it is. A lot of people will see couscous as a dessert, and it certainly can be used that way, but it can also be used as a substitute for noodles or white rice quite easily, and it goes quite a long way. The other one I'm putting is some more quinoa. I've got quite a bit of quinoa, and you notice that it's organic quinoa. Technically you could maybe sprout this, technically you could actually seed from this if you get the organic varieties. I wouldn't be planning to do that. I have plenty of seeds and sprouting seeds anyway, but a good source of a lot of different things in grit down. Principally, of course, carbohydrate, but also a good source of iron, which is a mineral and quite essential for human health. And if you're not eating meat or you're not able to catch meat, you might want to consider what plant sources you're storing in the long term that can actually give you iron, so you don't become anemic, because if you become anemic, the chances of then actually catching or growing anything start to rapidly reduce. This is a fun one. I put a few of these in, I tried it out. If you're actually going to use this powdered soy milk, you need to actually grind in a little bit of sugar and maybe a tiny bit of salt as well. It's pretty bland, but it's better than nothing. And as you can see from the ingredients list, it's really a good product to store. Calcium and iron. Always be thinking, what am I storing in my buckets? What am I storing long term? What's the nutritional value? We're going to load up on carbohydrates and fibers, hopefully. That's not going to be too much of a problem by long-term grain storage or long-term rice storage. What will be the problem is iron and trace minerals. And obviously, if you can garden and eat your products from the garden, you're actually going to replace a lot of the trace minerals yourself over time. But depending on what you're missing, if you go from a diet high in iron to a diet very, very low in iron, and you're physically working hard by fetching water and chopping wood, you've probably got 6 months to a year before you start to get anemic. One of the things that I have in my medications bucket is iron tablets. And I'm going to get into that probably in a different video, because there are two main types of iron, and one of the types is the one you should be storing and the other type is not so great. And there's also some problems with iron. It's easy to overdose and kill children with it, and we need to talk in depth about what iron is, what we use it for, and how we're going to actually waste it in grit down, because we can't always guarantee that we're going to be able to find meat every day. And I would also argue it's not that healthy, but in the here and now I'm vegan, so I am biased, so you have to take that on board. The thing I'm storing today is 17.5 kilograms of quick oats. Now I believe it's 2.2 pounds is equal to a kilogram, so 17 times 2.2 is about 40 pounds of oatmeal. I find oatmeal a really useful thing. It can be eaten and prepared without boiling water and without cooking quite easily, and that's a useful thing to have. It's a great breakfast, it's a great snack. You can make it firm and use it as biscuits. You can also use this in other foods, and you can also use it, again, substituting out rice and using oats as well as whatever you then would add to the rice. A little strange on the texture, but it works, and that's the thing. You have to think about, what does it got inside it? What will this do for me in grit down? Again, this is going to give me a little bit of iron, it's going to give me a little bit of fat, which is kind of useful, but it's not going to give me a whole heck of a lot of it. Most of the stored foods require you to grow, harvest, forage, hunt, fish for higher fat, higher protein stores than you might otherwise get just if you ate your buckets. Buckets are a filler, and that's how I like to look at it. But I also like to put surprises in. It would be nice, year 2 of grit down, opening up another bucket because things are getting a bit tight that winter, and finding some really nice Tazo tea. What a booster. Alright, I'm going to start filling up the buckets. I'll show you a little bit, not too much, because bucket filling videos are a dime a dozen.